I wanted to get on here for a few minutes and talk on a topic that I've actually been avoiding to speak on for quite some time. It's been in the news, it's been in the tabloids, it's been on the internet, for the past couple of months. And, I'm not one to really speak on celebrity gossip, the lives of celebrity, or the lives of anyone for that matter. But I figured that I will offer my perspective because I keep hearing about it. It keeps popping back up. And it's about the relationship in the life of Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan. Now, I don't want to come from the perspective that I've been hearing. I've been hearing a lot of women celebrate Lori's choice to take control of her dating life, to take control of the way she moves when it comes to relationships. I've heard a lot of men villainize Lori Harvey for the way she's broken Michael B. Jordan's heart, or the way she's rumored to have dated Diddy and the Sun and other celebrities, and how she's kind of a serial dater. That's neither here or there for me. I don't care about that aspect of the story. What I want to talk about is the behaviors that I see, the behaviors that I observe, and the impact that certain things that go on in our childhood impacts the way we function in relationships when we become adults. The first thing that I want to talk about, or the first thought that I have when it came to Lori Harvey, is that the truth is she's not a Harvey. She's not Steve Harvey's biological daughter. I think he came into her life when she was about 8 or 9, or something, or somewhere around that age. But the truth is, she does have a biological father. And from what I've heard and what I've read and what I've seen on the internet and people talk about, is that her biological father is currently incarcerated. Her biological father was a big time drug dealer at some point. I don't know him personally, but I can only use my imagination and my experience with coming across drug dealers and witnessing their involvement in their child's life, their involvement in their family's life, their involvement in their woman's life or their wife's lives. There's not a lot of involvement. All the involvement that's there is not always positive. I can only imagine a big time drug dealer not having the type of quality time that it takes to properly raise a child. I can only imagine that he was not there to really nurture and care for Lori Harvey. I can only imagine that he was not there to support Lori in her younger age, her younger days. I can only imagine that he did not provide Lori's mom, Marjorie Harvey, with the type of love and tenderness and care that she needed. I can only imagine that there were several nights that Lori Harvey witnessed her mom cry over this relationship. There were several nights where she uh, loaned or desired the presence of him, but either if it was the pull but of the streets or due to his incarceration, he probably was not present. And I can only even further imagine that there had to be some type of emotional or mental or possibly even physical abuse going on in a relationship with someone that's stuck in that type of lifestyle. I'm just going on what I know from other situations. Like I said, I don't know none of them personally. But all of those things definitely will have an impact on the way Lori Harvey views relationships, the way she views love, and the way she functions when it comes to relationships as she develops into her own adulthood. That's abandonment. That's abandonment and attachment issues that usually manifest when we start to love others as we get older. I want to read something real quickly from a book that I wrote called Ready for Relationships, and it's about abandonment. It says, It is not always easy for us to walk away from the person once we have experienced abandonment. And it's also true that it's not easy for us to walk towards others if we have experienced abandonment. Walking away from hurt or walking towards love can be scary for someone that suffers from the fear of abandonment. These two walks might seem like they are going in two different directions, but when they get to the end of the road, they end up at the same destination. Individuals that have the fear of abandonment respond to relationships in one of two ways. They either form a love addiction, where they try to cling to any hint of love and affection because they are trying to avoid the feeling of being abandoned. Or they reject intimacy. They reject closeness and they reject vulnerability to avoid the feeling of being abandoned. Two different roads which take us to the same destination of fear. So what I'm observing and what I'm seeing in the behavior of Lori Harvey, and when I think about the possible history and a possible attachment with her and her biological father, what I'm seeing is abandonment issues. Now, I know a lot of people might get distracted by the celebrity. A lot of people might get distracted by the riches, the money, the fame, the model career. You know, the fact that she's highly desired by all these famous guys. But none of those things makes a person immune to emotional issues. None of those things makes a person above emotional damage. A person can still feel abandoned. A person can still suffer from attachment issues, and it will be seen in the way they date, in the way they function in relationships. And this is what I'm seeing. As I said, I've never done an evaluation with her, never did an assessment with her, but I have sat down and worked with a lot of other people that has suffered from abandonment issues, and I see the same pattern of behaviors that I'm seeing and reading about with Lori Harvey. So at the end of the day, what I'm talking about really isn't about Lori Harvey because I don't know her. It's about us. It's about us that has suffered some type of abandonment, that has had a severed attachment with a loved one, a parent, a caregiver at a younger age. And as we become adults, if we see that we sabotage relationships, we see that we are fearful of intimacy, we see that we are scared to become vulnerable because the ones that were supposed to love us first, the ones that were supposed to take care of us first, did not do so. And it impacts the way we function in our current day relationships. We need to take note of that. We need to focus on the pain of that. We need to focus on the healing that we need from that type of stuff. Lori Harvey, she may be just taking control of her dating life. I don't know. But what I'm seeing is that there could be a lot of abandonment that's going on. And I don't care how rich her father is, how many photo shoots she goes on, she can still suffer from abandonment issues because her biological father was not there. So that's not only a note to us women and men that are in relationship. I think as fathers, we should also take a note to that. We should also see how our behaviors can impact our legacy, how the way we're involved, the way that we're a part of our children's life can impact the way they function as they become adults. So that's my 2 cents. That's what I've really been looking at and thinking about when it comes to this whole Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan situation. It's not about how many people she's dated. I don't care about that. It's not about anything else. I like to look at the emotional and the mental impact that's underneath the behaviors that's being shown. I like to go under the surface. And I like to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Is it a possibility that she could be suffering from some abandonment, attachment issues? Or could she just be having fun as a young lady? Let me know. God bless.